Hey everybody, it's me. I'm back. And I want to talk to you today about winning. I absolutely positively love the gospel song by Charles Jenkins, Winning. That song just gets me so riled up every time I hear it. And I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to talk to you about winning. Why? Because I know what it feels like to feel like you're losing all the darn time. I know what it feels like to feel like, you know what? Can a sister just catch a break? I would love to win. But I'm here to tell you today that I really believe that first and foremost, that winning is a mindset. And if we can really get to that place and space in our lives where we realize that despite what it looks like, despite what it feels like, if we don't quit, we will win. We are winning every day. Every day that we wake up, and I've been telling folks this quite a bit lately, and I don't mean to sound morbid, but every day that I wake up and my family and friends are not planning my funeral, I'm winning. I am taking yet another step toward being Dr. Lauren Denise Pitts. I am taking yet another step to being a more dynamic, transformational leader, a world changer, a history maker, an agent of change. And I want to encourage you to embrace the same mindset. We have got to get out of the habit of being moved by what it looks like and what it feels like. And I'm right there with you. I'm guilty of it. Been there, done that. Was there earlier this morning, which is why I said, you know what? Let me talk to some folks. Let me share some hope and some inspiration, and hopefully in the process, I will be able to lift myself up and encourage myself and add value to other people in the process. So my question for you today is, do you know that you can achieve your definite purpose in life? You can, and so can I. And I believe that we do this by demanding of ourselves persistent, continuous action towards its attainment and promise to render such action. What that means in layman's terms is we need to get busy. We need to get her done. We need to start doing what we know is right to do. We need to stop curling up in a ball in the fetal position and wah, and crying, moaning, and groaning, and complaining about what doesn't look right and what doesn't feel right and what we don't have, because we've all been there, done that. The money comes and goes. The relationships get jacked up. Then they get fixed. Then they end. Then we get new ones. The kids act crazy. Then they act right. Our health gets jacked up. Then it gets... The list goes on and on and on. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination attempting to make light of some of the hardships that some of us are going through right now, that some of us have been through. I recognize and wholeheartedly respect that people's pain is real to them. I know that my pain is certainly real to me. But my encouragement to each of you today is, let's make a conscious decision to stop operating from our place of pain. Let's make a conscious decision to recognize that despite how painful some of our situations and circumstances and violations and disappointments may be, if we look hard enough, there is a seed of the equivalent benefit on the flip side of whatever it is we're going through. I want each of you, just as I'm encouraging myself, to keep in mind the importance of fully realizing that no wealth or position will long endure unless it is built upon truth and justice. And what that simply means is that, when we talk about wealth, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about total life prosperity. I'm talking about positive experiences. I'm talking about living life to the fullest and walking in the fullness of who each of us was created to be. And I believe that in order for us to do that effectively, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with other people. We have to stop being afraid to be authentically who we are. We have to stop being afraid to tell the truth. When my son was little, one of the conversations that I repeatedly instilled in him was the importance that he understand that he needed to be more afraid of lying to me than he was of telling me the truth. Because if I can't trust you to tell me the truth, and if you can't trust me to tell you the truth, then there is no trust. And in order to walk in the fullness of who we are, I truly believe that our lives have to be rooted, grounded, and established in truth. And in that, there has to be justice and equality too. Now, I recognize as a woman of color that for those of us that are ethnic minorities, that the justice and the equality is challenging. I don't know that I would go as far to say that it's as challenging as it was during the civil rights movement, but certainly there are some things going on in our country today that look much like the civil rights movement, and certainly years before the civil rights movement came into full effect. But I think that when we each make the decision to do our part and to recognize that we have the ability to make a positive contribution or a negative contribution, I think that that's a step in the right direction for each of us. And in that, we must purposefully and intentionally choose to not engage in any behavior which does not benefit all to whom it affects. And I get it. It's hard sometimes. There have been times that I have found myself saying that I believe in Old Testament justice. There are times that I've found myself so angered, so enraged by the injustices and the inequality that I saw going on around me and across the nation and really around the world, that I just wanted people to get what I felt like they deserved. But that's really not my call to make. And I have a responsibility, just as I believe that each of you has a responsibility to make strides in the right direction so that we're not further complicating so many of these already out of control situations, not only here in the United States, but really around the world. Social injustice and inequality exist everywhere, and we have a responsibility to do our part so that we're doing the best that we can to add benefit and value to those around us. I believe that we can succeed by attracting the forces we wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I think that we can persuade others to serve because of our willingness to serve others. It's not all about me. It's not all about I. It's about we. And I think that if we each make the decision to put the needs of others before our own, not to the point of detriment, not to the point of depletion, but recognize that if I'm focused on improving your life by the value that I can add, and you're focused on improving my life by the value that you add, and if that's the position that each of us took, how much more improved could our situations and circumstances and environments be? It's really easy to judge and criticize, and I've been guilty of that. But I'm mindful of it today. I'm more mindful of it than I've ever been, that I don't have a heaven or hell to put anybody in. And therefore, I just try to share the positive that I'm aware of, that I believe will add value to people. And what they do with it, what you do with it, is going to be up to you. But I believe that I'm charged with the responsibility of making positive contribution where I can. And I think that when I actively, consistently, and persistently do that, I believe that automatically people are going to respond to me in kind. I also think that we must purposefully eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism, anger, fear, and unforgiveness by developing a true love for all humanity. Because harboring a negative attitude towards others will never bring us the success we long for. My pastor preached a message yesterday titled, "I just want to say thank you to all of my enemies." And that thing resonated with me because the emphasis that he was talking about was really, in many ways, it was based upon the golden rule, which is what I was raised according to. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So oftentimes people get caught up in the tit for tat. They get caught up in the being mean vengeful, spiteful, just ill. And I've been there, done that. I was a spitfire in my youth. If you wronged me when I was younger, rest assured, as my name was Lauren Denise Pitts, I was going to find a way to get you back. But I'm so thankful that that's not who I am today. I'm so thankful that I learned quite a while ago, actually, that in order to be forgiven for the mistakes that I've made, for the wrong that I've done, for the people that I've hurt, that I have to be willing to forgive. And truth be told, when I look back in retrospect, the people that have hurt me, the people that have wronged me, the people that have despitefully used me and taken advantage of me and just handled me really foul, really ugly, really greasy, really nasty, thank you. You know, I can say that from a sincere place today because my grandmama always told me, Lauren, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And I'm a stronger woman today because of those things that were done to me. But more importantly, I believe that I'm a stronger woman today because God gave me the strength and the courage and the desire to forgive those who have wronged me. I actually pray for people that have wronged me. And what I realized, and I believe that it came as a result of my formal education and training as a therapist, is that hurting people hurt people. That was my story a long time ago, so I can understand that. I get it. It doesn't condone what the people did that hurt us. It doesn't excuse them or say that what they did was okay. But what it does is it makes a conscious decision to meet people in a place of common humanity. It puts us in a place and space where we can say, you know what, that was real messed up, and it hurt me to the core of my being. But how messed up, how broken must a human being be to do the degrees of wrong that some of us have had done to us? And I think that once I was able to wrap my head around that, it became that much easier for me to forgive people. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean that I have not cried, that I don't cry, and that I will not cry, because I will. As long as people are people, people may say or do things intentionally or unintentionally to hurt us, but it's not what they do to us that really makes or breaks us. It's our response to it. So my challenge to you today is the same challenge that I give myself. You know, choose to forgive. Choose to let it go. Choose to, as Bishop said last night or yesterday, let your haters be elevators. I'm no longer in a place and space in my life where I'm willing to allow those that hate me, many of which for no reason whatsoever, I'm not going to keep stumbling over those people. I'm not going to make excuses and allowances for their shortcomings and pitfalls, particularly when I know I haven't done anything to them. And for those of you that I have said or done something to, and I didn't make it right, I'm asking you publicly now to please forgive me. Please charge it to my head and not my heart. I don't want to be in debt to anyone for anything. I don't want the blood of unforgiveness on my hands. So for anyone that I've wronged and have not made it right, I'm asking you now today, publicly, to please accept my heartfelt apology. And I ask for your forgiveness. And don't forgive me because I'm asking you to forgive me. Forgive me for yourself so that you're not harboring hatred, bitterness, and unforgiveness towards me for something that I'm not even aware that I may have said or done to hurt you or offend you. I don't deserve to have that type of power over you, nor does anyone else. Just like nobody deserves to have that power over me. So I let it go. I made the decision in 2007, coming into 2017, that I was taking my power back. And I was going to love people even when they were unlovable. I don't have to like you to love you. And that's real talk. I don't have to like your behavior to love you. But God has given me the ability to love people unconditionally because He loves me unconditionally. He loves me and loved me